A very warm welcome to today's webinar on research protocol and grant writing, organized by the National Methodology Course and Workshop in association with GAIMS. We're delighted to have you all. You joined us, and we explore how to write effective research proposals, structure protocol properly, and understand best practices for successful grant applications. So, today's speaker, we have Dr. Suprabhat Mukherjee. He's an internationally recognized scientist and expert in immunity and immunopharmacology. He currently serves as assistant professor in the Department of Animal Science and head of Department of Allied Health Science and Technology at Kazi Nazrul University, India. He earned his PhD in zoology from Vishwabharati University and completed postdoctoral research at the French National Institute of Health and Research and Northern Eastern Hill University. Dr. Mukherjee has authored 83 research articles, 30 book chapters, one book, and hold two patents with an H index of 32 and over 3,700 citations. He has mentored two PhD graduates and currently supervises four more. He serves on the editorial boards of journals such as PLOS1, Scientific Reports, iScience, Cell Death Discovery, and Frontiers in Immunology. His accolades include the EMBO Postdoctoral Fellowship, DS Kothari Fellowship, INSA Visiting Scientist Award, KNU Best Faculty Award, DST International Travel Award, and IUIS Travel Award, among others. He currently leads R&D projects funded by DBT and WBD STBT and has completely major projects supported by UGC and DST Serve. Dr. Mukherjee also reviews international research proposals and has delivered invited lectures in 12 countries. He has been ranked among the world's top 2% scientists by Stanford University for 3 consecutive years. Okay, we are truly privileged to have him with us today. Okay, so without further ado, I now invite Dr. Suprabhat Mukherjee to take over and share his insights on research protocol and grant writing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so can I start?
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, okay. So my screen is visible, I think.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so am I audible to all? So first of all, it's a privilege for me to be here, although it is an online platform, but a very nicely organized, I can say. And so the today's topic is research protocol and grant writing. And I'm thankful to all the organizers for conducting this National Research Methodology course and workshop under the banner of Global Association of Indian Medical Students. So, without any delay, I would start uh, the topic. So, I'll request the participants. Please interact with me if you have any question, queries. So, at the end of the talk or during the talk. So I'm also thankful to my collaborator, Dr. Mukherjee, for giving me this opportunity to present some of my thoughts and experience with you all. So the first and very important question that why do we write manuscripts or research projects? Because our title of discussion is research protocol and grant writing. So the ideal goals actually to share research discoveries, to contribute in the knowledge or understanding in the field of interest or in the domain, to assist others in translating the research for human or any other animals that are closely associated with human or humans are depends on the particular animals. So these are actually ideal goals, but you think there always there are some hidden agenda, you can say. So the actual or usual goals are to get a job, to keep a job, to get promoted, or to get recognition on awards. Actually, these are the actual goals for which we need to write, or we write manuscripts or research projects. So the first episodes, because you see that writing research proposal and writing manuscript, these are the two different things. So I just explain one by one. So in the first episode, so I'll try to let you know or just share my knowledge, because already you people are writing some research papers on project, or you have published some papers in quality journals, and also you have got some grants. So just share my experience with you all. This how to write quality manuscripts. So before we start, we need to know the reasons for which usually the manuscript are being rejected. Since during the introduction, I have been introduced that I am working as the editor and associate editor of many reputed journal. Um, so usually we reject the manuscript. The first thing is that lack of novelty. If uh, somebody is repeating the work, without any novelty, without adding anything to that knowledge, or addressing an unimportant question. You see, just one example. Suppose nowadays, just in the present time, if you want to write any article on COVID-19, because this present time we have already recovered from COVID-19. I am not telling you that we have fully recovered. COVID-19 will not come again in the form of COVID-26, COVID-27, or anything. But the thing is that in present time, it is not as important as it was during 2020s or 2021, 22, 28, so like that. The next thing is that poor experimental design. That means suppose you want to, for me, suppose we work on gastrointestinal cancer. So nowadays, suppose you want to present one documentation regarding that this is a cancerous tissue. So earlier we used to present the biopsy data, but at the present time with biopsy you have to present some immunohistochemistry data, or some immunofluorescence data, or western blot, quantitative PCR. So such kind of high end or such kind of modern experimental approach should be there in your experimental setup. Otherwise, we'll consider this as the poor experimental design. Submission in inappropriate journal. This is a very common practice. Suppose you are working on basic oncology, and you are submitting your work to some journal that are related to surgery. Obviously it will be rejected. Or you are working on some biochemical markers, and you are submitting to the journal which are dedicated to molecular oncology. Obviously the paper will be rejected. Then your writing, poorly writing. That poor writing means it's a big thing. Poor writing may be due to the, but nowadays you are having some Grammarly or other software by which you can improve the English. So that is not an issue right now. But poor written means there should be some continuity in your writing. So whenever we are writing some on some specialized topic, if we just start from that particular topic, it would be very difficult for the readers to follow that particular topic. So for that, we need to start from somewhere that the author can connect. One example, I work on the innate immune sensors, the sensory proteins. So without giving any introduction, if I just enter into the topic of my discussion that these are the gene expression of TLR, so it won't work. So that means there should be one very good introduction, common introduction, but in a brief. After that, the present scenario of that particular research, the national and international status, then we can go to the topic. That means there should some linkage within the paragraphs. And nowadays, uh, the serious concerns, first thing that the plagiarism is a very important concern. So we have to check the manuscript with some quality plagiarism checker. Suppose Turnitin, drill bit, so or that Urkund. So these are the softwares we need to use to, suppose you are just writing a manuscript. uh, if you don't check with any kind of plagiarism, there should maybe some plagiarism, because suppose after publishing 83 articles, even in my case, when I write, and after completion of that writing, when I put that particular document in plagiarism checker, I have seen that some my previous work um, having some homology with my present writing. That means, this is a human error. So without taking any risk, you need to check your document with some quality plagiarism checker. Image duplication, that is a very important thing, because whenever you are presenting any data, suppose we work on the immunology of the colorectal cancer, and we acquire so many data from huge patient cohort, because I am collaborating with many hospitals in the West Bengal and outside West Bengal, and also I am having international collaboration with University of Maryland, USA, in some Paris, France, and University of Bonn, Germany. So in collaboration, we are getting so many data. So whenever I'm concentrating on a particular paper, on writing a particular paper, I need to present those data that have not been, you know, included by my collaborators or in my previous publication. So for writing any book chapter on review, if I want to, use any kind of previously published data, then I have to take permission from that publication house, because whenever we publish any work, we used to transfer the copyright to the publisher. So that means it is the property of the publisher. Therefore, we have to take the permission from the publishers. Manipulation. This is a serious concern, because we know about this. In present thing, if you just write the retracted paper in Science, Nature, or any kind of quality journal, any kind of medical journal, non-medical journal, basic science journal, so you'll see that the retraction. Retraction means if there is any manipulation like the image manipulation, data manipulation, fabrication of data. So these are all very serious condition, and we should be aware of these things. Even if you are a supervisor, you are supervising some students, then you need to check the data by yourself. Okay, otherwise it can create problem in the future. Ethical issues, using human subject, you need to have ethical permission from the recognized body. For in our case, we are having that a human research ethics committee headed by the chief medical officer of health of the district, um, of the wherein the my present institute is affiliated. So, and we should avoid the duplicate work. We cannot just submit same work in different journals. And the conflict of interest, because during the time of submission of any manuscript, we need to provide a conflict of interest document, that there is no conflict of interest. If there is some conflict of interest, we need to disclose those things in the manuscript. So these are the major concerns for which manuscripts are actually rejected. Now, how do I understand what a redundant publication? Suppose you have published a particular portion of your research in a conference. So that won't be considered as a redundant publication. But if you have published some data in a different journal, then that can be considered, definitely can be considered as a redundant publication. Or some data that are already available in the website, like there are some databases on cancer. Okay, or in case of diabetes, obesity. So there are some databases. Databases means these are the data that are available in the public domain, and this data can be utilized. So if you just copy and paste the data in your manuscript, so these are actually considered as redundant publication. But if you can reanalyze the data, if you can perform some meta-analysis, and you can write a manuscript, so that won't be considered as a redundant publication. So this is a very nice article that was actually provided by my supervisor, Professor Samir Bhattacharya. He's a very renowned scientist. He is now 85 years old and still he is doing science. So when I joined his laboratory in 2010, so he actually provided me with this particular paper, that how to choose a good scientific problem. So you can go through this paper. It's a very nice article. You see that if I read out, that choosing good problems is essential for being a good scientist. But what is a good problem and how do you choose one? The subject is not usually discussed explicitly within our professions. Scientists are expected to be smart enough to figure it out on their own and through the observation of their teachers. Very important thing. This lack of explicit discussion leaves a vacuum that can lead to approaches such as choosing problem that can give result that merit publication in valued journal, resulting in a job and tenure. That means we have to choose a particular scientific problem that can give you some, insight that can, and after mixing that particular good idea with your input and experimental validation, eventually that will produce a good scientific article that can be followed by the others. So the structure of the good manuscript, what should be the structure of an ideal manuscript? The introduction, as I said before, that we need to write a broad literature overview, that what is the problem, what are the different spectrum of knowledge that is already available, and what are the knowledge gap, what are the lacunae present in that, and based on that we have to formulate our research question. Okay, suppose just one example. So the particular area where my university is situated, it is within the eastern coalfield region, where the major occupation is the coal mining. And coal miners, that is the laborer that are working in coal mine, they actually they stay in the underground, mines. Therefore, they are having chrono disruption. That means uh, each and every ml they are having a particular day in us. If you don't sleep for a night, you can realize what is the utility of sleeping, in the next day. So that chrono disruption. So suppose if I want to work on that particular thing, that what is the effect of chrono disruption on cancer, and after getting the patient data, if I want to write a manuscript, so I need to present what is chronobiology, what are the chronobiology factors, and then the different occupational hazard that can induce chrono disruption, and what is the connection of chronobiology with cancer, and then the research question can be formulated, that okay, so keeping these in my view, the present study seeks to determine the what are the chronobiological factors that are associated with the induction of cancer within the coal miners. So in this way, and to answer the research question, first we'll present some survey data, after that biochemical parameter, and then molecular parameter. And while discussing the result, I need to mention what are the limitations. So this is a very bad practice amongst us, that we always go for the positive result. Okay, we have found this one, and this significantly upregulated, this was significantly downregulated, so this contributes to cancer, all like that. And also implication of the research that means from bench to bed translation. This is a very important thing, and we need to uh, put at least 1 to 2 sentences about the particular application or implication of the work. So the first thing, that is the abstract. That may so in a manuscript, then the first page is the title page, where we write a broad title, then the running title, name of the authors and affiliation, address of the corresponding author. After that, we present one abstract. So abstract can be written in two different ways. One is structured abstract, another one is unstructured abstract. Unstructured abstract are generally, are written in a continuous fashion. You can see that. So this abstract was published by me during the COVID time, and this is actually based on the usability of the monoclonal antibodies. So you see that in the abstract, in the structure abstract, you need to present your abstract like that. Background, you have to write background, then 2 to 3 lines on background, then your methodologies, 3 to 4 lines, then your findings, 5 to 8 or 9 lines or 10 lines, and then conclusion in a couple of sentences. So this is the structure. That means you need to write background, methods, findings. So in this way you can formulate your structured abstract. But unstructured abstract, so there will be no division, but you need to present such kind of division while writing an unstructured abstract. Right, that this is the background, then this is the, methods, aim and methods, then this is the result and the conclusion. So in this way we can write the structure and unstructured abstract. So this was an article, the very important, in a very important journal, that is the Nature Communications Biology. So this is, you see that this is an unstructured abstract. Okay, and this is the structured abstract. Okay, this was also very important publication. This is the Infectious Disease Society of America, the Journal of Infectious Disease. So you see that background, methods, result, conclusion, and after the abstract we usually put some keywords. Okay, now so out of the 5 or 6 reasons that are involved in rejection of a manuscript, so there was one point, that choosing inappropriate journal. So how do you choose a good journal? In Springer Nature, you know that Springer and Nature now they jointly, they publish quality research work. So there is one window, that is journal suggestion. In that particular window, there is a tab that manuscript title. If you put your manuscript title or your abstract and subject area, you can get some recommendation. Otherwise, you need to check whether the journal of your interest are indexed in the Science Citation Index or not, or some other medical databases, you know, chemical abstracts, Scopus. So these are the, and most importantly, it should be a peer reviewed journal. Okay, so but there are some journals like Science, Nature, Sales. These are the press that are well known to all. And if you publish any of these journals, like in Science, there'll be Science, then Science Immunology, Science Advances, Science Signaling. In Nature, there are so many journals, Nature Publishing House, then your Cell, Wiley, Taylor and Francis. So these are very well known. So, but in many cases, suppose you have, fulfill all the criteria, to write a good manuscript. But after submission, to submission of your work, just after a week, you have received one mail and your work has been rejected. So how to encounter intentional rejection? So we should not be, should not be sad with the decision, but to encounter this intentional rejection by the editor, you have to write to the editor immediately. You have to write your to the editor immediately that what are the points based on your manuscripts were rejected, and if you feel that these points are not, sufficient, or the grounds that have been given to you that your manuscript have been rejected based on this point, you have to contradict, and you have to present your view in a very, polite manner. You have to point out the mistakes of the reviewer, those who have reviewed your work, either the editor himself or by some other peer reviewers. You have to cite some evidences on literature against the claim, and you have to make CC to the editor in chief and the publication house that some academic injustice has been, happened. So these are the things you have to do immediately. I just want to share one incident. The earlier publication that I have already shown, that the manuscript that was published in the Journal of Infection, it was rejected by the journal thrice. So first time both the reviewers were very, they were very, they actually appreciated our work, and they pointed out some lacuna that can be addressed by the revision, but the editor in chief, um, he rejected our work. Then we immediately wrote to them that these are not the points, and we can definitely resubmit the work after the revision. So again we resubmitted it. Then again it was intentionally rejected. The third time I'm just sharing one story that there was an experiment that we generated a macrophage cell line. You know that macrophages, these are the, mononuclear phagocytotic cell, macrophage cell line from monocyte using MCSF, that is the monocyte colony stimulating factor. And one of the reviewers, he or she pointed out that MCSF doesn't yield M2 macrophages, so all the macrophage generation experiments are wrong. So we wrote to that particular decision immediately after getting the um, that decision, that there are so many, we are not the first time we are doing this experiment. These have been published in many quality literature, and we have pointed out 1 2 3 4 5 6. So these are the citations. So if you are rejecting our work, definitely you have to write against these articles published by this group. So and you can see the result. So in this way, you can encounter the intentional rejection. Another important thing is that you have to keep the original and unedited data. You see that this is my very recent publication in 2025, just in the February. It is on the efficacy of luteolin, a plant flavonoids, against the metastasis of the colorectal cancer, where we have found that this particular molecule binds at the PI3K, AKT, and the P50, the three important mediators of the metastasis, and it blocks the expression of these proteins. So you see that I cannot put this data. Okay, these are the raw data. You see that original images for checking, unedited and uncropped Western blot. These are the Western blot. Okay, uncropped blot. So you see that I have provided this much data, but at the same time I need to keep the original data. You see that this is the original data. So in if any concern is in is raised in the future, so obviously I can provide this unedited data. And there is an option that whenever you are submitting any manuscript, In the supplementary file, you can provide the original images. Actually, in the quality journal published by the Science, Nature, Sales, and many other high quality journals, so they need this unedited, uncropped data. So in this way, you can avoid future problems. And please do check or run the plagiarism checking, even if not asked. So these are the cross check, Turnitin, original, authenticate, deal bit. So these are the very quality softwares, and they're expensive too. And then the important thing is that the post you have to, if you want to promote your articles, that can reach the readers, and you can get some, thoughts, further thoughts to continue your work. And even some constructive criticism about your work. It can give you some path which can be followed by you or your students, your group, your collaborators, and that can also yield some quality research. So you need to, promote your article. You see that this article, so this is a very old data actually. So I published this work during the COVID. So actually, this article does not matches with my doesn't match with my domain, but this was the first contribution by any researcher in the world who confirmed that the COVID-19, that is SARS-CoV-2, was originated from the bat, and the TLR4, it is responsible for induction of the inflammatory consequences in the SARS-CoV-2 infection. This article was published in 2020, and till date it is having more than 515 citations. Okay, and that time it was covered in some, newspaper in West Bengal, and also covered in the electronic media. So in this way you can promote your work. And also after a couple of years, because that this article was published in 2020, and after 2 years we also designed one vaccine in collaboration with the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, Beharampur, Odisha, and we published this article. And later we also um, got some insight, so that we continued with this article, and eventually got the patent for this universal vaccine. And if you go to the India Science and Technology.gov.in, so you can get this Aviscovac. It is one of the 5 top discoveries made during the COVID period, and the main aim was to design a vaccine that can give us protection against all coronavirus. So after publishing this article, I was invited by the that Times Now channel for an interview, and this the news was published in many newspaper, print and electronic media. So in this way you can promote. And recently we also design a vaccine that can give us protection from bacteria induced colorectal cancer, because Fusobacterium nucleatum is a particular gram negative bacterium that is responsible for the cancer of the rectum. And in recently we have also developed some affordable medication, natural medication against the colorectal cancer. So in this way we can promote our work. Now the question maybe arise that can we so the filing of patent. Suppose you have got some some novel findings that can be translated to clinical research, or that can go to preclinical clinical trial. So can you file a patent? So what is ideal, that before or after publication? The answer is that both can be possible. So this was the pre-publication patent. Recently, we have, you know, we have filed a patent. This is the title: a novel benign phytoformulation, IBI layer 1 with potential anti-ulcerative qualities and anti-colorectal cancer efficacy, in collaboration with the University of Maryland. So, so these are the pre-publication patent. And in case of COVID vaccine, designing single potential vaccine, Aviscovac, through immunoinformatics and immune simulation approaches. And this was the post publication patent. So both can be possible. Okay. So what are the do's and don'ts? So you can follow this particular review article that the how to write a scientific manuscript for publication. This is a very good review. You can just follow this article. So with this, I complete the first episode. That is how to write the good scientific articles. How to increase the acceptability of an article. So so if you can ask me at the end of my talk, so I'll be happy to answer the questions. Now, now I'm entering in the episode 2, that is writing acceptable grants. So again, these are the reason for which we uh, get rejection. So improper budget. So whenever you write for a research grant, that means if you are asking a government body or a private body for getting some funds, because the budget is a very important thing. The what are the instruments that you are procuring? Suppose recently I got a big project from Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. So it was reviewed by the funding agency thrice, and repeatedly they asked me because in the budget there are actually two parts. One is the recurring, another one is non-recurring. So non-recurring means there are the instruments that are needed for your project. So you need to think in a very realistic way. Suppose you are working on some on a basic science, and you are giving an instrument of more than 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs. So it is very difficult to get. Lack of focus. You need to be very focused that what is your objective, what has been done earlier, and what are the new things that you are proposing. Less important problem that I have already discussed for the writing a manuscript section, because you need to present your research paper to address a problem that is a very current problem. Suppose a disease that was emerged 20 years back, 10 years back, 5 years back, and now if the disease is almost eradicated from the globe, you will not get a funding. Okay, so lack of expertise. Suppose I work on a colorectal cancer. So if I write a grant of Alzheimer's disease, obviously the outcome will be zero, because the reviewer or the funding agency, they will understand that I am not having the expertise to work on Alzheimer's disease. I don't have any publication on Alzheimer's disease. Obviously, the grant will be rejected. Inappropriate description of the outcome. What are the outcomes? You need to clarify, because with the research proposal or with a particular limited grant, I cannot assure that I will publish the particular findings in Nature, or the particular disease will be eradicated from the globe after completion of this project. So such type of overthinking or over claiming we have to avoid. Background publication, we should have background publication whenever we put any kind of proposal in any government agencies. We always you know always claim our expertise through our publications. Plagiarism, it should be plagiarism free. Nowadays we have to produce one document, we have to cite one document that I am hereby certifying that this particular project proposal have not been copied from anyone, and it is the level of plagiarism is, the level of plagiarism has to be less than 10%. Okay. And the poor writing, that means again we need to have continuity. That means there's some thoroughness within your article. So again, these are the common reasons. So that have already. Another is that the inadequate organization capacity or experience. So that is also a very big thing. So the five common mistakes: too ambitious research goals, that have I already stated that if we write that after completion of the project, the disease will be eradicated, or this project will contribute to the eradication. So it should not write in this way. We can write that this can add a new dimension to the existing knowledge of the domain or in our understanding, so that it can be utilized further, or it can provide a foundation to the further research. So in this way, too complicated explanation, we should not complicate our story, we should not write long sentences, we need to simplify our view. Inadequacy to our academic level, so we need to put something that is within my expertise. Okay. And the lack of, if I don't have, if suppose nowadays I am having three projects from different funding agencies, and the particular topic that are related to medical oncology, I am having one doctor with me as a collaborator, because I'm not a doctor, I'm a scientist and I know my science. But regarding the patient data and patient tissue information, I need the help of a doctor. So without a formal collaboration, it is not possible for anyone to complete a research. So that has to be, and no plan B. We need to have a plan B. Okay, suppose you are writing a proposal on developing an anti-cancer agent. So how do you screen a particular agent? That is very important. So you need to write that I can adopt virtual screening, I can adopt in vitro screening, I can I can utilize the animal model based experiment. That means if your first plan, that is the virtual scanning, fails, then you can go for the in vitro test. In vitro test is, if it is in vitro test is okay, then you go for. So there's something you should you need to have that kind of confidence to make sure that your project will deliver something to the society and to the funding agency. So how to get funding is a very important thing. First of all, narrow the search. Okay, check some available grant openings, as is then locate the prospective grantors, at least 5 to 10. um, the and you need to you need to add to your mobile that suppose ANRF, Anusandhan National Research Funding, Government of India. The calls are generally, for the major research project, you can get the calls in during June to August. So you need to write in your to-do list. Then make a specific proposal. Prepare a general proposal and then you can go for a specific proposal. Submit your application. After evaluation, you can if it is the positive, then obviously you will get the grant. If it is negative, then you work on it. I'll show you. Then after getting the award letter, you accept it by writing to the funding agency immediately that I am hereby confirming the acceptance of my proposal, and I'll submit the relevant documents. Then you complete your project and report to your grantor. So these are the common steps that are involved in the proposal submission. That the right grant agency, you gather information and documents, you develop a strong proposal, and create a realistic budget. That's a very important. Usually, 10%, 10 to 15% of your total budget you should allocate for your non-recurring things. That means the for a 50 lakhs project, maximum you can give in the budget for in your instrument, you can uh, maximum you can put 8 to 9 lakhs. Okay, so submit your application on time. So you see that this is a competitive proposal submitted to national funding agency. This is one budget that was been accepted by the NRF, and I got this budget. You see that this is my on one of my ongoing projects. You see that this is a non-recurring equipments accessories. You see that the total project cost is 45 lakhs 35,461 that had been sanctioned. So this is the CO2 incubator that 7 lakh 98,600. Okay, so this is the name of the equipment. So I provided this information while submitting the project. So name of the equipment, then price in INR. Then if it is an important machine, either you can write in INR or you can write in foreign. But I will suggest, if you are submitting a proposal from India, always write in INR. Otherwise, um, that may create confusion. So you need to provide a justification. You see that CO2 incubator, this is the amount 7,98,600. Culture and maintenance of fungal isolates, human monocyte, macrophage, generating cell, and T cells. Then mini centrifuge 9,946. So the total budget cost was 8 lakhs 98,546. Then you're recurring. You need to split. So these are first one is manpower, project assistant, first year, second year, third year, total amount, justification required to conduct the essential duties of the project. Now the consumables, chemicals, reagents, antibodies, growth factors, okay. Then your travels, okay. So this can you can utilize for your networking, technical visits, even to attend the seminar and symposium. Contingency, this is for stationary item printings and the overhead, because your host institute will charge for up to 10% the overhead charges to run your project within the institute. So these are the things, okay. Now to improve your the quality of your research grant proposal, what you need to do, you should have a clear concept about the goals and mission of your project. Then whenever you are performing or conducting the project, try to give your best. That means whenever you are searching for the literature, and why, because this is a very confusing thing, maybe confusing to you, that before submitting a proposal you need to have some basic data. That's why I'm telling that do your research. That means before submitting a proposal you just need to have some preliminary data, at least some couple of experimental data or some survey data that can be added to your proposal, so that before claiming that you are going to do this, you have this much of foundation data or background data with you. And then review your grant application either by you, or if you are just give it to your collaborator. Or that means with one project you can add a couple of co-principal investigator who can help you in your project. And you prioritize the proper grant management, that is regarding your team members, a time frame, what are the work you are going to do in the 6 month, first 6 months, second 6 month, third 6 month. And these are the different agencies to which you can apply for project. ICMR for the doctors, then Ayush, DRDO, the Department of Biotechnology, Department of Science and Technology, because medical and non-medical both sectors are there. So these are the important. This is the newly launched, that is the national research. Then right now the name is ANRF, Anusandhan National Research Foundation. Earlier it was named as the Science and Engineering Research Board, Government of India. So avoiding rejection and increasing acceptability of research proposal, just learn from your mistakes, that what are the flaws that you have made during your earlier proposal. And whenever you get any rejection, please do not think that it was a personal attack. Don't take it. Rather, I'll just show you that if you get a rejection, what are the things you can do immediately. So you see that. rejection to acceptance. This was my proposal. I submitted 1st March 2020. Okay. So this was on lymphatic filariasis. The biochemical and molecular characterization of a novel putative intracellular steroid hormone binding receptor for Uchiria bancopti, a promising target for developing antifilarial drugs. So this was rejected. Okay. So I work on my mistakes. You see that then again I changed the title Biomolecular Characterization of a Novel Putative Steroid Hormone Binding Receptor from Uchiera bancopti for the chemotherapeutic intervention of Bankruptcy filariasis. You know, after 1 year, almost 1 year, 21st February 2021, and it was approved for funding. So this is the way you can, and this funding agency was same, ACRB. Okay. Another thing is that you see that 29th April 2019. So these are my during my early career because that time I was quite young because 5 years back. So you see that exploring the role of that time I used to work on the filariasis. Okay. So exploring the role of opportunistic fungal infection on the immunomodulatory pathways that transform host immunity from protection to pathogenesis in filarial patients, relevance to therapeutic intervention of so it was rejected 29th April 2019. Okay. So this time I changed the funding agency, and without wasting time, I submitted to the Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, New Delhi, India, and it was approved for funding. So you see that the principal project coordinator, Dr. Suprabhat Mukherjee. So in this way, you can transform your rejection to acceptance. So this is my university located in Asansol. Okay, so this was my first student, Nabarun. So he has already been awarded with doctoral degree in 2023. This is Ritik Patro, my second PhD student who has already awarded and joined as project scientist at Institute of Life Science, Odisha. So I need to acknowledge my mentors during my PhD and postdoc time, Professor S.P. Sinha Babu, Professor Swami Bhattacharya from Vishwabharati, India, Professor Vishnu Roy from Northeastern Hill University, Professor Barry Insam. Francis also the ambassador of Indo-Fan Joint Research Venture. So he is having dual affiliation. Professor Aditi Banerjee, University of Maryland, Dr. Tanmoy Majumdar, National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi, Dr. Deepak Kumar, CSR IICB, Dr. Priyankar De, Thapar Institute, Dr. Subodhi Mukhopadhyay, New York University, USA, Dr. Malay Rana from Aizar Behrampur, Professor Asim Herop from University of Bonn, Professor Far from University of Bonn, Germany, Andrea, my friend from University of Bonn, Germany, Dr. Minmoy Das from Boston Children's Hospital, USA, Professor Anup Mishra from Bose Institute, Dr. Kuldeep Jana from Bose Institute, and my doctor collaborators, Dr. Shankar De from ESI Hospital, Dr. Piyush Chhatra from North Bengal Medical College and Hospital, Dr. Manojit Mukherjee from Arambagh Hospital. So without money, we cannot do work. The UGC, then ICMR, DST, DBT, West Bengal Science and Technology, and the IMBO, European Molecular Organization Fellowships. So I acknowledge their contribution in my research. And this is my laboratory, Integrative Biochemistry and Immunology Laboratory. Nabarun has already completed his degree and doing his postdoctoral research, but still associated with me for collaboration. Ritik Patro also completed his degree. Pritha, she'll be submitting her thesis very soon. Then Ankita, she's working on colorectal cancer, and Sompa, and two postdoctoral researcher associated with me, with under working my guidance. Dr. Chandani Fauza, Dr. Deepaman Das, Dr. Kaustav Gatais is from Medical Laboratory Technology, and Dr. Sudip Mullik is assisting me with the technical. So I just complete my talk with a few lines from Rabindranath Tagore. So you know that Rabindranath Tagore was the first Nobel laureate from the Asia, and first from India. মোর নাম এই বলে খ্যাত হোক, আমি তোমাদেরই লোক, আর কিছু নয়, এই হোক শেষ পরিচয়. So thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer your question if you have any question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mukherjee, for that enlightening session. We will now open the floor for a short Q&A. If you have any question, please type them into chat box so we can try and make many possible. So till then, one question for you. So, how can young researchers build a competitive research profile before applying for independent grants?
Um, I think that have already stated that before writing any grants, we need to have a solid knowledge on the domain and the lacuna that can be addressed by doing research. Okay, so the, so before writing a grant, we need to have a clear idea that what are the topics and what is my interest. That has to be clear. Okay, before writing anything. And for independent researchers, if you want to, write for a grant, that can be done in two ways. For any students or medical practitioner, they can write, even write for international support. So ongoing, you can go to the Fulbright Fellowship, that can give you the fellowship for 6 months to 12 months, and you can write a proposal, you can submit in consultation with a supervisor from US. So you can apply to that. If you get the grant, you can work on that particular aspects. This is the first one. And second one, if you get any job, any affiliation, from that affiliation, you can address the local problem in your grant. That this is the problem, and I want to work on this problem, and that can give these outcomes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, what are some strategies for researchers from less funded institutions to improve their chances of receiving grants?
Yes. For less funded institution, because you see, I want to tell you that my institute, the Kazi Nazrul University, it is a very young university. It was established in 2012, just 13 years back. So I joined in this university in 2018, and there was nothing was there in the department. So the first grant I clearly mentioned, that is a new university, and with a 100-kilometer radius there is no university, and this institute is serving this much population, and so the first project that I wrote to the University Grants Commission, this is the prevalence, to study the prevalence of different infectious and inflammatory diseases in and around Kazi Nazrul University, comprising the coal mining workers. So in this way, you need to clarify your objective, that that this is a maiden research work, or if it is a less funded institute. So what are the different bases of, and what is the utility of the research, that has to be mentioned very clearly.
Yes, so thank you. So, Harsh is asking, can first year students also write research papers?
Definitely, there are so many journals are there. Even in Indian Academy of Science, Indian Academy of Medical Science, there are so many journals are there, good journals are there. They can work, they can, suppose, mm, for cancer. They can even write about some postulations, even that this some ideas. I can just cite one example, because during my during my when my students when I was student, I there was a very absurd thinking came into my mind, that you see that the salamanders or the lizards, they are having some regenerative efficacy. Okay, if you just cut their tail, they will see that the tail is regenerating. But if you cut your finger, that don't regenerate. So that time I wrote an article, that these are the regenerative signals that are available with these animals, and our cells can be manipulated. So nowadays you can see that these are the common practice: CRISPR-Cas9 and gene editing, RNA editing, protein editing, protein engineering, those things are going on. So in this way they can write even not only a review article, or they can write some research questions, research ideas, anything they can write. There's a possibility.
Yes, sir. So you have already answered the questions we have prepared. So so okay. So last one I'll ask: what strategies can help improve the clarity and readability of a manuscript?
Yes. So in this way, I suggest what I do. That is, before submission, I usually read my articles. I read my previous articles and the present article. That okay. So this is the line that I am writing. So is it okay? So in this way, so please try to read your manuscript before you submit. If you go through 2 to 3 times, you yourself will find some common issues that can be addressed by you, and that can enrich your. And do not use AI. Repeatedly I am telling that do not use AI softwares or AI things, because that will affect your intellectuality, that will affect your originality, and that will affect your practice, or that will affect your efficacy of presenting your view. Because if you just write something in your AI tool, they'll give you the manuscript. But don't do that. You just search the literature, you read the literature, quality literature, then you formulate an article. And after publishing an article, when you'll see that your article is getting citations, so you'll be very happy to see that.
So Hitcha is asking how to publish research or participate or volunteer as medical students. What opportunities are available for undergraduate students? ICMR has some programs. Are there anything like that?
ICMR is there, another very important and very widely circulated proposals that are being advertised by the Indian Academy of Science. Because currently we are having three academies: Science Academy in India, and also Medical Science Academy. So they take the students on annual basis. Because what you have to do, um, you need to take NOC from your parent institute. Then you can submit your proposal to that, and you can get the scholarship or fellowship, with which you can do your work for 3 to 6 months in some reputed institutes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So she's also asking how to connect with professors from premium institutes within and outside India for research opportunities.
Yes, yes, very nice question actually. So in this case, you can directly approach to the mail or through any reference. Suppose if I am known to you, then you can take my reference, that as referred by Dr. Mukherjee from Kazi Nazrul University. So I am writing this email to express my interest to work under your level guidance regarding this proposal, this particular topic, or any kind of topic that you can. So always try to write uh, your approach letter based on his or her um, domain of interest, because otherwise you will get the rejection from that I don't want work on this particular aspect. Okay, in this way you can approach.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for answering. I think that will be all. So yeah, thank you once again, sir, for your valuable time and for sharing your practical knowledge with us today. Thank you also for all the participants.